When you mention Turkana County, what comes to many people's mind is drought, hunger, insecurity, emptiness. But look at this. Yes, Turkana County can be green. This is NAPAC project, a project that is being implemented by an NGO that is known as PanAfricare. The project is under 30 acres of irrigation. Now find out the impact of the project on livelihoods. The beneficiaries of this project are happy. Happy because they've received visitors who have come to have a taste of their harvest and not to bring relief food. NAPAC Farm is found in Takwel Ward, Loima Sub-County. It is about an hour's drive from Lodwar town. Crops in the farm include maize, sorghum, watermelons, sweet potatoes, and a variety of traditional vegetables.
This is a farm that has around 40 beneficiaries. It is a 30-acre farm with various crops being supported. Our water is from River Takwel. So as PanAfricare, we constructed a canal here and also placed the gates at the intakes. So the water is from the canal. We have the principal canal, and then we have the tertiary canals that channels the water to the various plots within the farm.
Simply put, this project is aimed at enhancing resilience.
We managed to expand this farm because when we started here in 2019, it was like a bush, and we had to undertake lots of bush clearing. So we started with bush clearing. Then after that, we targeted the 40 members who form a basis of the farm foundation. So after targeting them, that's when we started with the normal agronomic practices within the farm. We have been training them on good agronomic practices. We have trained them and worked with them through our agents who work on the ground, who offer the agronomic practices and monitoring weekly. We have trained them on various skills such as the business skills, of which we are also rolling out the village savings and loaning model, because once we started the farm productivity, also came in the concept of agribusiness, because most of these products are actually sold locally and also sold in the outside markets such as Lodwar.
Tunapanda wakati wote, lakini mbeleni tulikuwa tunapanda na ile maji ya mvua peke yake, lakini sasa hizi tunapanda vile tunataka kupanda. Throughout. Hakuna sasa kuacha shamba. Tunapanda kila saa. Kila mtu wote hapa huwa anakuja kwa shamba yake, ukiwa mzee, ukiwa kijana, ukiwa mama, ukiwa kijana. Maana hapa ndio store ya kila kitu, ndio unapata ile kitu ambayo utaenda ukula, ndio unasomesha mtoto wako, ile kitu ambayo unavuna kwa shamba, ndio unauza, unasomesha mtoto wako, ndio unakula nyumbani, mgeni wako akutembelea, ndio unampatia. Hapa ni kama tu Kitale.
The Turkana community largely depends on livestock for their livelihood, but such projects play a key role in cushioning them against the impact of drought, as agriculture then becomes the alternative source of income.
As the project was starting, those were some of the issues that came up in terms of changing the culture from pastoralist to now the agro-pastoralist part. That's why most of our farms actually, when we started, we had an average of maybe 20 beneficiaries or 30 beneficiaries. But you see, once you come up with the behavior change strategies where you actually tell the members of the community about how good this farming is and what it's going to sort out, so most of them actually listen to it. That's why as the farms continue growing, you realize that maybe when one person has sold watermelons worth even 100,000, then the neighbor realizes, oh, you mean in 3 months, if I do this well, I can actually earn money like this. So with such life stories and success stories, more members of the community actually now coming into farming as another source of food and livelihood.
Bear Fund is PanAfrica's key donor. The organization also works closely with the county government of Turkana in capacity building, among other areas, in order to extend the benefits of these projects to as many people as possible.
When we drilled the canal, which is around 400 meters, the canal channeled water to most parts of the farm. And that is where right now we have almost around 250 total beneficiaries in this farm. Because this farm extends and it meets with another village known as Natuntun, which is a bit far from here.
PanAfricare's programs are themed around food security, health, empowerment, and gender. They are aimed at improving approach to community-based nutrition in Turkana under the acronym IMPACT. That's why the program is called IMPACT.
When we talk about the community, we look at the caregivers who involve the people who are in nutrition. These are the health people, the nutritionists, as well as the community health volunteers, because these are the people who actually right in the community and can actually trace any issues of malnutrition or any issue that are coming up with food insecurity. For the second way that we work with the community again, because now already we have a way of monitoring how their health level is at the facility as well as the house level. One way that we also do in the impact program is now we come again and look at how to improve their livelihoods. This is done through capacity building them so that we come up with farms. Right now we have about 23 farms, and these 23 farms which are also under irrigation and agriculture.
NAPAC is one of the 23 farms supported by PanAfricare, 12 in Takwel Ward, Laima Sub-County, and 11 in Katilu Ward, Turkana South Sub-County. The farming intervention has targeted 880 households, and that's an average of about 6 members per household.
So one way that IMPACT has worked in ensuring that the sustainability of the project is that with the community members, we've actually made them on the project. They're the ones who come up with what needs to be grown, the needs, and how we can assist that. Once we've done that as well, one other way that we've done it work well is again, we work with the county government quite closely because these are the people who again are the gatekeepers. So we work with the village admins, the agricultural officers to capacity build the farmers. Why capacity build the farmers? Purely because, again, this is a community that has for a very long time been practicing pastoralism. So with the impact program, we are trying to integrate the agriculture part of it with pastoralism. What happens with this is, with the establishment of such farms, now you even reduce the number of people who are migrating because to look for pasture and water, because we ensure that at least that is really available in the farms, and also control the conflict by ensuring that the community people have their committees where they live in harmony. Because again, one of the risks that we saw when we started the impact program was that as much as agriculture was a new thing, the issues of maybe the people who are still pastoralists coming to the farms with their livestock and actually taking the plant. So what we did again as a project to ensure that this was not done, we came up with them and sat down with them and actually came up with Water Users Association, where we involved the community, the pastoralists and the farmers.
The canals are more sustainable, maybe even better than drip irrigation, because for the canals, the routine practices are desilting and also maybe clearing along the bush. So when our farmers are directly involved in these practices, it brings the element of ownership. So whether PanAfricare is there or not, our farmers will continue with their routine practices.
The other question is whether these projects can be replicated in other parts of the county.
The one main challenge that we have in Turkana County is the component of water. Because as long as you have water, soils can be manipulated and you can undertake crop productivity. So this is a project that can be undertaken in other parts of the county, especially with the 2 permanent rivers. Along the rivers, canals can be constructed as long as we bring in the engineers and people who can design the canals well. So because we have a lot of water that flows in our rivers, so that is how easy it can be to replicate such a project. And also we have the component of boreholes. So with boreholes, mostly we use, for us, we use the furrow irrigation system, which is more sustainable than using the drip system. Because for the drips, they easily block. Remember, most of our water is actually saline. So you find that maybe for the drip, it might be sustainable for 3 months, and you have to change the entire system. But for furrow system and canal system, it's long term.
And that's the other side of Turkana, a county that is ordinarily known for drought and famine. with such projects bringing hope to communities yearning for resilience. For Eye on Turkana, I'm Alex Chamwada.